Hello everybody, this is Dragonzilla1991 here, and the review for today/tonight, depending on what time it is when you are watching this video, will be on the Collecta Mini Dinosaurs tube. Now I didn't get the set for this Christmas just gone. If I did, then it would have been part of the whole video, but I digress. Anyway, I did order this as well as the second set of Amazon with my birthday money. And in case you're wondering, yes, I also have the third set, but we'll look at those another time. And because Collecta have done a fair few tube sets that are dinosaur themed, they have pretty much been numbered. There's this set, which is set 1, and it's naturally dedicated to the more famous and iconic dinosaurs. Set 2 contains the second batch of well-known dinosaurs, and set 3 has the more obscure species with 2 to 3 familiar faces. As I said earlier, we'll look at those other sets another time. Maybe not for the next video, but in a few reviews time. Anyway, today's focus is going to be set 1, and like we did with the mini prehistoric animal tube, we're going to be taking a look at each of these giant reptiles chronologically. Beginning with the Jurassic period, that only has 3 representatives. I would start off with the Triassic, but unfortunately and sadly, there are no Triassic animals in this set, and to be fair, the earliest of dinosaurs did not look as impressive as their descendants who evolved from the rest of the Mesozoic. However, the Jurassic is considered to be the golden age for dinosaurs and reptiles. And yes, this is also the era when the first birds flew onto the scene, but they wouldn't be as dominant as they were during the Cretaceous. The first dinosaur is the roofed reptile Stegosaurus. It was basically the icon of the Jurassic period, and this is also a scaled down version of the Collecta Deluxe Stegosaurus, to which I have seen a fair few times, and I do plan to get that one someday. Now, he may appear to be blue, but he's actually a bluish-greenish sort of colour, and his backplates as well as his vagabizers are light brown. His tail is raised up as he's getting ready to face off against a predator like Allosaurus. This miniature does appear to have a shrink-wrapped skull, which wouldn't have been possible for the real animal, and the way it's sculpted, it does kind of remind me of the face of the scary-looking Sphinx from the 1960 adaptation of H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. In my review for the Safari Limited Allosaurus, I said that Allosaurus was my all-time favourite carnivore. However, for my number 1 herbivore, well, that would definitely be the gentle but intimidating Stegosaurus. And this is what he looks like with the Kyoto Stegosaurus gashapon that I have in the collection. This is our first miniature from the set, and it's a great start. A real shame that there's no Allosaurus to go alongside him, but if you have other miniature Allosaurs, then they will be suitable. The second dinosaur is another icon of the Jurassic period, however this time it's a sauropod, and it's Diplodocus, or Diplodocus as some folks will call it, but I think Diplodocus is more commonly pronounced. She is a lovely bright green, even though I believe that it's most likely that Diplodocus in reality would have been one single colour, like modern day elephants. However, it still looks nice on the miniature. Her pose is quite unique, because most Diplodocus figures will often be standing on all 4 feet, but this miniature, as well as its full-size deluxe counterpart, is raised on her hind legs, possibly defending herself from an attacking predator such as Allosaurus again. Or maybe she's just reaching out for higher vegetation. Her whip-like tail is bently curved. Don't think it would have been like that in life, as again, like with other dinosaur tails, it would have been stiff aside from the end. Diplodocus is a very famous sauropod, and will be one of those household names that you'll hear of when it comes to the topic of dinosaurs, alongside Tyrannosaurus Rex, Triceratops, and Stegosaurus, etc. and so on. Dinosaur number 3 is another Stegosaurid, but this one is Kentrosaurus. Now Kentrosaurus is rather obscure and lives in the shadow of his famous cousin, and because set 1 is dedicated to the more famous species, you would have thought that another celebrity dinosaur like Ankylosaurus, Velociraptor, or even Iguanodon would be included, and this guy would be saved for either set 2 or set 3. So I think having an obscure species is really nice, and I believe that it only helps to make the set a bit more special. Now this miniature, when compared to his cousin, is rather plain looking, being mostly tan green. However, Kentrosaurus may resemble Stegosaurus on first sight, but he's still a unique looking animal, because he has spikes sticking out from his sides, and his arrangement of back spines is also quite noticeable, as they start off as shorter plates and end up as a row of vagabizers. Kentrosaurus appears to be smaller when next to his cousin, and if Stegosaurus was the mammoth of the Jurassic, then Kentrosaurus would definitely be the mastodon. My only complaints with this miniature would be the damn initials at the side of the body, as well as the Collecta logo located on the side of the tail, but they are for the most part quite unnoticeable. Not really the most popular species, well, at least to my knowledge, but Kenny is still a nice welcome addition to the set. The Jurassic period is considered to be the golden era for dinosaurs. However, it was the Cretaceous that was home to many of the household name dinosaurs. From the early Cretaceous, we have the heavy claw himself, Baryonyx. Now, even though Collecta have since updated this animal, but this miniature is a scaled down version of the 2009 model. At least I think that's the year that particular figure was released. As you can see, he has a hunchback, where in reality Baryonyx was a streamlined dinosaur, unlike how it's been depicted with a thick body here. The tail wasn't short, as seen on the model, and the skull was muscular, not shrink-wrapped. Baryonyx was a fish eater, so naturally he would be posed stalking for fish, although sometimes he would go after young iguanodon. His large claws that give him his name are also pretty thick looking too, but understandably they would be super hard to accurately recreate in miniature. I think the colour scheme is okay, mainly being earthy beige with darker brown stripes. Despite the miniature being inaccurate, I actually do have a soft spot for it, as Baryonyx is after all one of my all-time favourite dinosaurs. My second favourite carnivore to be precise. Also, before moving on to the next creature, here he is with the mini Pianesto Baryonyx Gashapon. Often mistaken to be a dinosaur, but Pteranodon was no dinosaur at all. However, it was a flying reptile known as a pterosaur or pterodactyl, as it's sometimes referred to. Now, I absolutely adore the paint job, as she is in a lovely black, which appears to be almost transparent, especially through the wings. And her hands, feet and crest are orange too. Also, the beak appears to be pink. The pose shows her to be in flight or taken off from the ground. Her wings are folded in for support, and I think that this is a really good idea, because most winged figures are often quite flat, and unless they come with a flight stand, they do kind of look unnoticeable, and will be hidden away amongst the other models. Pteranodon may have been the cousin to the dinosaur, and not actually one itself. However, it is still considered to be an iconic prehistoric animal nonetheless. Now we have a marine reptile, which is the giant Mosasaurus, who is considered to be the T-Rex of the deep. Now, despite this only being a miniature, he's actually quite big, and because it's so well detailed, it looks as if Collecta have taken the deluxe model and shrunk it. And yes, you can even use him as a juvenile, even though he's clearly meant to be an adult. He may look dusty in these pictures, but he's clean. Trust me, I gave him a quick wipe down before putting him in front of the camera. He is darker compared to his larger counterpart, and his stripes and odd spot pans are a nice clear white. My favourite part of the figure are the teeth, because while most other miniatures they are all one sculpt, but here they are all individual, something that you would expect to see on the larger model. Mosasaurus is truly an iconic marine reptile, and he's definitely up there with the likes of plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs, etc. and so on, and I believe that this has got to be another best for the set. Back to the dinosaurs now, and we have Parasaurolophus, an all too familiar face, especially from the Jurassic Park franchise. Here we have a pretty colourful one, as she is orange with tan brown stripes, but her colour patterns are not identical to a tiger's, and the crest is a nice red. The pose of the Parasaurolophus is nothing too specially unique, as it only seems to show her taking a stroll. Not really one of my all-time favourite species of dinosaur, however the paint job does make up for it. Next up is the ram of the Cretaceous, which is the bone-headed dinosaur Pachycephalosaurus, which is also the second biped. Diplodocus doesn't really count. The first thing that you'll be quick to notice with this particular miniature is that he is sculpted onto a base for support, because if he didn't have this, then it's most likely that the miniature itself would have standing up issues, and you'll need to stick him onto a curtain weight. But thankfully, because he's sculpted onto a base, you don't need to worry about that. He appears to be giving off a really intimidating pose. Perhaps he is challenging a rival, that would be my guess. I do love the head, as the horns stick out beautifully, despite this being a miniature, and the dome that makes the animal so iconic is really nice looking, and hard to miss too. I like the paint job as well, being a nice green, even though it does admittedly look almost identical to Dippy's that we looked at earlier. Pachycephalosaurus is just as lovely as the other animals in this set, However, he's not the only Cretaceous era dinosaur to have a sculpted support base. There are 2 more species out this set to go, and I think you all know who's coming next. Because the other dinosaur, who also has a sculpted stand base, is of course the most famous and iconic theropod of all time, Tyrannosaurus Rex. But this is the feathered version of the animal, because once upon a time, there was an idea go around suggesting that T-Rex may have actually been an avian, as it did have some fluffy relatives. However, it has since been proven that Tyrannosaurus was actually the classic scaly giant that we all grew up with, and the only time when it did have feathers in its life was when it was a baby. The paint job on the Rex is part colourful and part dull. Colourful because of the red and green markings, and dull because the rest of him is light beige and the underbelly is white. He is on the prowl searching for prey, judging by the pose, and it does look like he is stalking. Or he could be feeding if you wish to use an unlucky herbivore to be the corpse. No dinosaur set would be complete without the Tyrant King. Finally is yet another icon for dinosaurs, and that would be the popular prey item for a T-Rex, if it could take it down, Triceratops. And this miniature is designed to go with the Tyrannosaurus, because he's looking up as if he is protecting himself from the attacking carnivore, and despite T-Rex being a lot bigger than Triceratops in reality, however the miniatures appear to be almost the same size as each other. Triceratops is mostly a bluish colour with a bit of black mixed in, and the horns are ivory, to which I suspect they would have been like that in life. Like with Parasaurolophus, there's honestly not a lot to say on this one, it's just nice. So to all Triceratops fans who are watching this video, who were hoping I'd get into a lot more detail on your favourite dinosaur, sorry guys, but there's not a lot. I tried thinking, I looked the miniature over, and there isn't much to say on it. So again, sorry. And that's all the figures out of the Collecta Mini Dinosaurs Tube Set 1. It's a great little set, especially if you're a dinosaur enthusiast like myself. And because this is the first set, it's importantly natural to start off with the most famous and iconic of these giant extinct reptiles. Now I love all of these miniatures, but there are some that are higher. So, from least to best, my rankings are Parasaurolophus, Pachycephalosaurus, Triceratops, Pteranodon, Kentrosaurus, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Diplodocus, Baryonyx, Mosasaurus, Stegosaurus. You may not agree with the rankings, and will probably tell me that T-Rex should be higher than the others, but I go with my instincts, and not my fans' opinions. But anyway, this set is recommendable, and you'll especially find it on certain websites, such as Amazon, eBay, and of course, everythingdinosaur.com, etc. and so on. This is Dragonzilla1991 signing out. Take care, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.